anywhere at any given time.
Sure. And on a micro level, I personally really like Spectre versus Invis heroes like Ricky or Bounty. You give a dust on him, and it's a free kill every single time.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's also quite good against the Witch Doctor. And we do see the Storms being banned out. I'm expecting IG to actually pick up 430's Queen of Pain if it's not banned out here. It's a hero that he's been leaning to a lot, and it's a hero that could really control the tempo of the game. Unlike the Queen of Pain of the past, it's a hero that could actually scale very well into late game as well. We do see the DK immediately being picked up here to give Vici some sort of mid-game push, mid-game tank as well here. How do you feel about Queen of Pain, or do you think we're going to see something else?
I Ferrari's Queen of Pain has been a thing since like TI1 or even before that, so
Right.
I wouldn't be too shocked to see them pick it up here. You know who we haven't seen actually is Puck. Like no one plays that hero right now.
I hope they don't play it because they need core from the mid lane. Again, I keep going back to it, but this team is built around 430 playing carry from the mid.
Yeah, in which case Queen fits better.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that sentiment. I was just kind of like thinking out loud because I knew I was forgetting about a mid hero and I just couldn't quite put my finger on what it was.
We might see Mikasa play a bit.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
If there's one player still left in the qualifiers that kind of play traditional mid lanes, it is Mr. Mikasa.
Well, IG are certainly taking their time thinking about this.
Queen, are you YOLO enough to just out into this, or that's just asking for trouble against an AA?
I think a Spectre just destroys Elk.
Okay.
Although we've seen crazier things.
Tinker's in the pool, although I'm not sure. Tinker's probably pretty bad against Spectre.
Yeah. It's not a good game for a Tinker.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I mean, this means that IG's late game is like ridiculous. But it is so greedy. It is like you're stacking greed on greed. You know what I mean?
All right. I don't know whether this is professional.
Okay, so let's be objective. Okay, let's say that Vici have one roaming hero. AA has a tendency to play pretty greedy. Dragon Knight is not the kind of hero who's going to be rotating around a whole heck of a lot. The biggest worry you have is CTY hitting 6 and HYM ganking mid. That's the worst thing that can happen. Witch Doctor is fairly good defensively. One cask should be able to stop like most of the aggression. You have Mana Shield to protect yourself. Once you hit 6, you have Stone Gaze. And Stone Gaze plus Sven is actually pretty nasty, because if you get caught with a 50% damage increase, and the Sven has God Strength on, if you turn to Stone, you're turning to dust. Like, you're just dead. At the same time, it's incredibly hard to breach high ground against this team. You have Vac Wall combination. You have Witch Doctor eventually, might get his hands on an Aghanim Scepter. Actually, no, he won't, because he's going to be position 5 and Ricky's going to be 4. But I do think that there is some potential here. I'm not saying it's, like, amazing, but if they make it to a certain stage in the game, Dusa plus Sven, that is some ridiculous carry potential.
Yeah, one of the Dusa's traditional weakness is the fact that if there's any type of aggression, maybe around 20 minutes in the game, and trust me, the DK and Spectre will bring it to you around that stage of the game. The Dusa hits for like nothing, right?
Yeah.
But you do have to Sven to kind of solve that situation. Oh, I need to switch into in-game overlay. Sorry, guys. So I think Dusa will actually get the time and space to actually get big.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the major concern about IG's lineup is the idea that the Sven and Ferrari both take up a ridiculous amount of space. They don't have a lot of space creating heroes. That's what makes their draft greedy, and that's what makes it scary to play against Vici, because with a Dragon Knight, Spectre is not the kind of hero that she used to be, where you're expecting her to farm like, 2 or 3 items before she starts the fight. She's going to get phase boots. She's going to get like 1 item for survivability, and she's going to use Haunt to fight.
I actually think that Sven is not too terrible at creating space. Like, especially this game, if we're going to go for a Blink build relatively earlier in the game, he could be a pretty good semi-carry fighting build if you want. And of course, he's going to be, being ganking with the Ricky, for example. Darkseer's going to join in from time to time. Oh.
By the way, I think we lost internet. Pretty sure.
God damn.
Pretty sure we lost internet.
Okay, I think we're back. I think our internet like got a spike or something, but we back. Haven't missed too much. First blood not being claimed just yet. So let's actually check out the lanes here. On the mid lane matchup, we got a Dusa versus a Dragon Knight. I think we're pretty much trading farm here, but it would not surprise me at all if Sylar, who's actually playing a mid DK, will outfarm the Dusa. Like, Dusa's just not too good of a farmer. Base damage is a little bit crappy. Bottom lane, though, CTY actually under a lot of trouble. Not going to die or anything, but takes quite a bit of right-click, as well as the Iron Shell damage.
By the way, Rob has triggered that you haven't gone offline mode in 3 games on your Steam, so if you would be so kind.
I'm going to trigger him a little bit more.
All right, well, you're a bad person. So
no, I'll do it once I find a good time to. I don't want to be.
Well, I mean, this is potentially the last game, so.
But what if there's a kill right now? CTY's being gone on.
Now we say that, and IG are actually doing very well in their laning phase.
All right, if I miss a kill, goddamn it, Andy.
You're not gonna miss a kill, man. Everything's fine.
All right, we're good.
All is well in the world. But I didn't ask you for your overall impressions of the draft, but are you feeling like VG probably just have the advantage surely because of how quickly they can start playing aggressive?
Yes, but I don't think that advantage is as drastic as last game's draft.
Okay.
I actually have a little bit of faith here with the Dusa, but right when the Dusa is picked, I still have that mental image. Oh, that's Bobuka, a nice blink strike here out of it. They're going to focus on XSS. Rowan. No, they want Bobuka instead here. Iron Shell's applying a little bit of damage. They will get the Ricky kill. CTY gets elasted there, so. Oh, remember I said Ricky is a plan B option, so plan A on the bottom lane is donezo.
Well, plan B is panic stations and try to go maybe mid to create a little bit of space, but it's a DK.
Yeah, you're not ganking there, not with Dusa.
Oh, this is a...
So maybe there isn't a plan B. Maybe you just go back bottom and hope for the best. He is teleporting here.
The thing was, they didn't even have Chilling Touch. That was just a kill, like normally. Not even Desolate is skilled on CTY. Like he went for the 2-0-1 option, getting the value point and the dispersion. So if that was enough to kill, it's only going to get worse. You know, burning... He's eventually going to put a point into that Chilling Touch, and if a roll hits and a dagger, you're probably going down.
I think they just kind of hung around with the not full HP and just kind of got picked off. So
yeah, but if you imagine, even if you're at full health, Ricky's full health is 600.
Well, you talked about the scenario where Ricky will go on you, and that's a free kill. This is a little bit more of what we expected here from the IG dual lane bot.
Yeah, they're pressuring the lane super hard at the moment, even with Baboka's death.
I say they're doing fine. Top lane low, we do see a Sven stun into a Maledict. It looks like RTK will give up the kill here as well. Alright. IG is on the board. Ooh, Bobuka is going to dodge away from Ro. He's got the Blink Strike. No, it's on cooldown for a while. Surge getting him out of there. He's going to pop the salve, and that might be enough to get him under the tower range. In fact, it will. Nice recovery here from the IG bot dueling.
That was so close. Man.
And 430 is farming it up on the mid. He's leading the CS in the entire game.
It's actually kind of insane how they both have so much CS. Like, it's 4 minutes in, and it's 28-4 versus 26-1. That means Ferrari's still hitting all his last hits, even with the Breathe Fire debuff on him all the time.
Hey, man. Seems like they're pro players or something.
I mean, it's almost like they do this for a living, but I can't confirm or deny that.
HYM got Invis. Is he gonna do a little bit of kitten?
Wait, I think he wants to.
Bobuka coming around here.
They got that sentry down, so Bobuka's gonna have a really hard time getting in undetected. What?
He did.
Okay. I have no idea why he stayed there that long.
Well, he didn't know that HYM was Invis, right? So he was thinking, oh, it's just an AA Inspector. So
yeah, but even still. It kind of feels like just a couple of auto attacks is more than enough to send in the jungle. I suppose he doesn't have an Iron Talon though, so he doesn't really have a choice.
Bobuka is going on HYM now a little bit. I have a little bit of lag.
Same.
Did our internet drop?
Nope, we're back.
Okay. Some spikes. Alright, so we do have kills being traded around, but for the most part, it's basically free farming all around. Do you think this kind of favor one team or the other?
I suppose it favors IG, just because Their Spectre is absolutely free farming, and C2Y could actually die here.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Bulbaka, it's gonna die. You take that trade.
Yeah, you take the trade if you're IG for sure.
You laugh to the bank with that trade.
I mean, at the same time, puts Burning at almost level 5. It's like 6 minutes into the game. That's not too shabby.
The feed, the carry, get the support safe lane farm strat.
Dude, don't underestimate an early level 6 on an AA.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones. Global team fight.
Yep.
Global gank.
And it's still a ridiculous amount of pressure they're applying to the bottom lane on the side of IG. So yeah, I'm still kind of happy with what they're doing. Sylar is going to be able to take this regen rune away from Ferrari here. The top rune spot.
All right, looks like we're going to see, or what do you think we're going to see from the Medusa build? There's always a lot of discussions and disagreements. Where do you go? You know, Yasha, or FaZe Yasha, Manta, Linken's.
Oh, top lane, RTK.
Okay, he's going to get a little bit of TP help coming in the form of a Dragon Knight. But this is going to get scouted out here by Bobuka. So I do believe IG should react accordingly. There's a pretty big stack here on the right side. I guess Fen will need to clean it up pretty quickly before TIE Hunter or the DK takes it.
I think RTK might just waddle over there at some point.
Ooh, that courier is dropping really low. Bobuka wants this pretty badly.
7 HP. Now they're just going for tower pressure.
Okay.
They don't really seem to care very much about the Sven. It's going to force the reaction here out of Ferrari. No ulti.
Deuce is going to port top. I mean, is he going to look to defend? Are they going to go on Sylar? The casket's going to bounce on a couple heroes. Sylar, half HP, Mal taking it up. He's dead? It's going to be close. Oh, he's dead.
No, he's definitely dead. Or the bottle. He's actually fine. The dream.
Okay. What level of Maledict that is? Level 2, I guess?
Level 2, yeah. One more point and he would have been dead for sure.
It's very interesting that Deuce ported there.
I think that keeping the safe lane tier 1 alive when you have a lineup that's this dependent on farm is like mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, how do you let this tower die when you have a Sven and a Dusa? Where are you going to have space to farm if they have access to your jungle before 10 minutes?
No, I hear you. It's just that I just expected something like Darkseer porting, for example, instead of the Dusa.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because, you know, you're defending towers to make some space, right? But you're really making the space for Dusa. So I was just, at least personally, a little surprised that it was Dusa instead of the Darkseer, for example, that ported. But yeah, it worked out well. They even almost got a kill, so can't really complain. So before all of that happened, I was getting your opinion on the Dusa item build this game.
Yep.
What's your thought on it, man?
I think that Yasha phase is pretty much the go-to.
Okay.
And then once you have those two items, you already have enough of a basis of farm that you can decide if you need to be more defensive or if you want to be more aggressive.
So kind of wait and see approach here?
Yeah. XXS in the bottom lane, getting pretty low.
That Surge is getting mega value. So a lot of time...
I mean, I would have just popped Han and daggered him again, but I guess it's still 4 seconds on cooldown. But yeah, the Dusa builds are totally varied from person to person, and everyone has their own idea of what they feel is best. But I think in games like this, like, just having Stone Gaze should be enough of a defense to not have to go for, like, a Linken's or whatever. Like, a lot of people see it as a value item because it just gives so much regeneration.
Right.
But I often find that if you just get, like, a Yasha and then go into a damage item straight away and just skill stats, then you're normally tanky enough. And more often than not, you're going to have enough damage because of stats plus Yasha and, like, a Demon Edge or whatever. And that makes you enough of a threat in the fight to where the enemy team can't ignore you anymore. So it's kind of like the bristleback effect where you deal too much damage for the enemy team to forget about you, but at the same time you still take a huge commitment to kill.
Sure. I mean, that's the goal.
That's just my take on it.
Like, that's the goal, really, to get Dusa to that stage. But it takes quite a bit of time to get there. Sylar, as well as Burning, smoked up here. They're looking for a wraparound play. Ricky, though, is going to scout things out. Do they have detection? Yes, they do. Quick kill here for Bobuka. I was going to say that, he did tank a smoke gang, but he tanked it for a Witch Doctor, so it's not like the biggest value gain. In fact, wrong. Oh, are they going to Ravage for that? No, they'll let him run.
I mean, this is just good rotations from vg.
Yep.
They fully understand that taking away map control from IG is the best way to win the game. It's bottom lane XXS.
Pretty good bait here, but they can't follow through. They surge up to QD, but QD gets body blocked a bit. That'll be the it of that. By the way, Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if the game continues at this rate, I really do favor vg. Like, the heroes on the side of ig are farming more creeps, but they're also more prone to losing towers because their teamfight capabilities are not super strong for a while. Like, it's just taking a little bit longer to get off the ground for obvious reasons, like having the Dusa and the Sven together.
Right. But here's the thing. I find that this draft here from vg is much more potent, holding up the high ground. So we might get into a scenario where, similar to last game, we see vg get into a big lead. But very unlike the last game, you know, we just kind of saw Juggernaut just kneeled over and die and really didn't do anything in terms of a high ground defense. I think this is a different beast when you're looking at a Dusa, a Darkseer, and whatnot. So I see this IG squad falling a little bit behind like you predict because it's hard to hold these outer towers. But I see them perhaps even coming back in a late game victory with the Dusa and the Darkseer.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, late game combinations from IG are incredibly strong.
Yeah.
So it's just all down to vg's execution. You know, can you get the objectives fast enough? You know, you want to take down the tier 1 tower.
Oh, smoke immediately broken up by here Bobuka. And again, he's going to pay for it, but I'm almost going to say that's worth.
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this build here from Ferrari, too. I keep forgetting that Dragon Lance is an item. Like, that thing is so value on, like, every single ranged hero. So much strength and agility. They did nerf it by 1, but, you know. Still, like, 140 bonus attack range is nothing to shake a stick at either.
Yep. Here comes Richie again. Looking to push the tower, and yeah, like you said, it's going to be constantly IG looking to defend it. It's going to be Dusa in the front. Down to about half HP, but it looks like the snake is going to bring him back full. Oh, we do have a roll forward here on the left side. I think he ran it into Bobuka. Or close to it. Ooh, very interesting here build from Bobuka. Normally you see a lot of times we do see Cloud being taken up. Because generally in the mid game, that's all you are, a moving Cloud.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure the logic here behind a max Cloak and Dagger.
I mean, maybe he wants to do more damage during the team fight. Like, it's obviously going to scale better with Tricks of the Trade. And you could also argue that vg's lineup isn't really that dependent on having mischance. I suppose like the radius or whatever on smokescreen is nice for maintaining the silence and whatnot, and you get a little bit of extra miss rate. But let's be honest, even if CTY is missing you, he's still gonna hit you with Desolate. That's why Evasion is not really good against Spectre in the first place. So I would say of a lot of the teams that we've seen so far today, this is probably the worst lineup to skill smoke against in regards to straight up auto attack damage.
That may be so, but I just think that, let's say a push is coming, and you know the pushes are coming. The best thing you could do for a team in that scenario is to drop a smoke.
Yeah.
On as many heroes as you could cover.
I mean, it's still a value point for level 1. It's still 40% mischance. It's not that bad.
Alright, I'm gonna remain unconvinced until I
Look,
see.
you always get to play Devil's Advocate, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I was playing Devil's Advocate. And to be honest,
touche.
I feel like I did pretty good.
Alright, fair enough. I thought for a second there you actually believed it.
Nah, I still do think that his build is fine for this game.
Okay. Well, we'll see if it works out. Meanwhile, we do have Darkseer literally surrounded by all sides here, but looks like he might not die. Sylar invised up. Does have the armlet build. Pretty standard stuff here for DK. And oh, he's going to run away from the DK, run away from the stun, and the ports are coming in. Back wall's going to get dropped, and they might get XSS. Nice blast.
Oh, he missed.
Oh, burning! Bruh, please.
That's going to cost him pretty big.
Yeah, Burning's going to die regardless. No, the mech, Trick the Trade's going to fly out here. And there, so is the Stone Gaze. What happens on the back line? The back line here, they find HYM. So I think the 1 is all they're going to get. But anytime that IG gets a clean kill, stops a push, that's all they really want anyways.
Yeah, just delaying the game. Wanting to stretch it out with the Sven and the Dusa. That was a really nice kind of delay there from XXS, making sure that the rest of his team could get there.
Yeah.
And
very smart play, running away from his tower, but making it work there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Burning kind of biffed his ult. That was not good. Probably would have gotten at least a kill.
I mean, just on Bobuka, pretty much. Ice Blast's going to come in here, but hits no one because RTK too manly scares everybody away.
Yep. Big old fish, man.
Well, I say that IG defended the tower, but I don't think vg is giving it up just yet. Ooh, talk to me about this Vanguard build. Do we see a Bobuka? Maybe this is the reason why we do see the build as the Picnic drops 2 Sentry Ward. But with the max tricks of the trade, he's out of there, dude.
Yep. It's good stuff.
Oh, kick. HYM. Dust not gonna hit.
So sneaky.
Yeah, so the Vanguard Darkstare, what do you think? Because normally you can make the argument that when you pop the mech, you know.
I actually think that pipe is just straight up better.
Especially against the AA, right?
Yeah. I think that pipe is better pretty much in every way this game, but at the same time, you could argue that having multiple like frontline heroes with a Vanguard is not really a bad thing when you have a Dusa sitting in the back and a Witch Doctor who want to be able to, you know, sit and attack unobstructed or channel a Death Ward, for example. I can see the logic, but I do think that pipe probably would have been the better choice.
Oh, can this be a kill here against CTY? Oh, he's trying to run Stormhammer. They're stacking the stun here a little bit. Therefore, it's going to come out with a big level of Maledict, but
good dagger.
Yeah, running through the trees there as well. In fact, max Maledict.
Oh, I like this build here from Ferrari, the Maelstrom Dragonlance. This, like, you are going to farm so fast with these items. And by having the Maelstrom at an early stage in the game, you already have a pretty good chunk of damage.
Yeah.
Like just getting a couple of lucky procs inside of a team fight, you know, even barring the Stone Gaze or whatever. It's going to make it so he hits his stride a lot faster, but he's still also able to go to fights.
Bottom lane, we do see Bubble coming here, back here against Sylar. Do they have what it takes to actually lock him down a little bit further? They do have a level 4 Maledict here. Bubblegum now getting focused. Ice Blast, this one will not miss. Trick the Tracer flying out to do a little bit of last-ditch effort before he will shatter to the ice. And now Ferrari being focused. He has to pop his Stone Gaze. And it looks like they're going to try to turn things around against ROTK, who pops the mech. And now it is retreat time here for VG Gaming.
Well, successful fight here from Vici. He's going to walk out the lane, probably casually hit the tower a few times, knowing that everything pretty much on IG was expended for that fight.
Right.
And unfortunately, they did not really get anything of it or from it.
Yeah, they unfortunately also didn't do enough damage.
They didn't even have Ravage. Like, Vici won that fight pretty handily without having one of their biggest ultimates, if not the biggest teamfight ultimate at their disposal.
If you look at the way that these, you know, ganks or fights are going to go, unless Witch Doctor hits, you know, a big cask or you get a big Sven stun, they just don't really have any lockdown. So, I mean, this is not the first time we've seen, you know, Vici being chased away and then they're like, okay, that's it. I'm going to turn back now and fight you.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, even though these fights are not really going IG's way, I think they're doing enough.
They're still farming super well.
They are farming super well. They're not losing. Like, their tier 2s haven't even been hit yet.
Yeah. And
critically, we haven't even seen Vici on the offensive. I think that's the critical part. Like, have we even seen any offensive haunts being used?
Not really.
Yeah, so I think right now, IG is doing such a good job taking kind of any offensive game plan away from Vici. Vici is just playing reactive Dota, which I guess they're fine with, but I think they honestly just want to be popping that DKO, pushing towers nonstop.
No, I agree completely. It's just hard. Like, you have a Dusa ultimate, back wall combinations. Sven is always going to be pretty scary, especially considering the rate at which, you know, QD and Ferrari are both farming. They're going to reach a critical mass at a fairly early stage. I'd even say, like, 30 minutes, it's going to be tough.
Sure. For
Vici to take these engagements. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I think that they want to do a lot more. And smoking up here towards that bottom lane, they're going to be looking for the DS. Should have him here pretty easily.
Yep.
That Vanguard...
oh, who would not have saved him either?
I mean, true. But I still don't understand the Vanguard.
Me neither. I mean, Crimson later on, I guess, but I don't know. Pipe.
It's just that there's so little, like, for the same logic that the Riki wasn't skilling Smoke Cloud is why you wouldn't buy a Vanguard, because Vici's team is not a right-click team. They are a we do lots of magical damage and burst you down with AA Blast team. I mean, like you mentioned, even with the hoodie probably would have died there, but...
Yeah. Look, I ain't playing Devil as Advocate on that one. It was just a little too far a stretch. Oh, Bubble gets found. Dust. Oh, he's out. He's dead.
See you later. Well, seems like Vici's still kind of firing on all cylinders here after the first game.
Yep. Also, Sven, though, casually sitting at 4K. Talk to me first about this SMY build, and next tell me what you think he's going to go with the 4K? Is it going to be BKB?
I think it almost has to be BKB. Like, their team is not necessarily one that needs to initiate. So, like, a Blink Dagger is obviously very good on Sven pretty much in any game. But if vg are starting to knock on tier 2s and get closer and closer to base, you might not need the Blink Dagger to initiate. And if you have to worry about Ravage and Boulder Smash, DK Stun, AA Blast, having a BKB for the high ground defense is almost mandatory, I feel.
Sure. What about the S and Y, though?
I think S and Y is just...
I mean, it's definitely non-standard.
It's not standard, but when I first saw the introduction of Echo Saber, you know, disclaimer, this is going to be a little bit of a long explanation. Echo Saber pretty much speeds up Sven's farm because he's able to not only get mana regeneration, but he can kill creep camps very quickly, like burst them down and walk from camp to camp. S and Y gives you movement speed to walk from camp to camp, which essentially does increase your farm. But it's also a more valuable item in one inventory slot, which I think is important. Like, he's trying to be slot efficient, and I think S and Y gives more for the slot.
Going pretty hard. The Ravage going to hit really hard on top. QD getting blown up. He does pop the BKB, but actually back wall. That's huge here. And Dusa, all the meanwhile, has been right-clicking. He does get the Stone Gauge off. My God. I think you're going to lose a couple here on the way out to the Earth Spirit. Oh, no. 2-for-2 trade. Getting the Spectre, though, that's the big one.
That's the strength of their combination right there.
You know, I did not expect IG to make that play that deep into the enemy side of the map. But I guess IG or vg also did not expect it, and that's why it worked so well.
Who did Sylar stun there? Because I imagine if they had stunned the Sven, they would have just killed him.
Oh, they went on Sven.
No, I know, but the Ravage hit him, but did they overlap their stuns?
Yes, DK also stunned him at
okay,
around
that's
the same time.
That's why he didn't die.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
that was more of like a stun, oh shoot, we need a run kind of situation.
Yeah.
Because the vac wall was so good on top of that.
Well, it's like you get vac walled, and then you hear Stone Gaze, and you just know that you can't turn around anymore.
Yeah.
So then Sven's just hitting you, potentially with an Ion Shell and a Surge, and all of a sudden vg are like, well, we don't have Ravage anymore, so we can't fight. And then CTY gets blown up. I think he actually got frozen, right?
Who got frozen?
CTY. I think he got frozen by the Stone Gaze.
I think he might have just died before that too.
That's possible. He did drop pretty quickly. But, you know, off the back of that fight, IG going to be feeling pretty good about themselves, going in for the Roshan. I mean, there's already 1,700 gold on top of the BKB that QD just bought. And he's going to have probably an Aegis unless they decide to give it to Ferrari.
They both have the slot available for 30
I think Ferrari, yeah, I think Ferrari's taking it.
It's like, do the stutter step forward. He's like,
I'm going to wiggle in here.
Yeah. Don't mind me. Alright, Radiance, though, is coming up. We haven't talked about CTY's farm too much, but, you know, phase Vanguard into Radiance. You know, in that last fight, despite the way that it took, or the fight kind of developed, if CTY had Radiance there, he was getting a double kill.
Yeah, potentially.
The Earth Spirit was dropping them so low, the Ice Blast is, you know, there. And this is just a very strong combination, the Ice Blast plus the Radiance Burn with the Haunt, so.
Yeah. No, I totally agree that, you know, item timing has always been super important for any kind of Spectre team. Or, you know, just any team in general who has like a Blink Dagger initiator who needs an item or whatever. So sometimes you just don't have a very good item progression, and CTY is definitely behind.
Oh, Han's gonna come in, but okay. Turns around, takes one pot shot.
I mean, he's just baiting. When the team with the Medusa and the Sven has a tier 1 mid at 24 minutes, you got some problems.
You really do. And it's not like they're losing out farming. In fact, they're doing quite well in the farming stage. Radiance comes online here, and so does the Sven Blink Dagger. It does seem a little odd here for Sven to pick up the Blinks, even though the Radiance is such a good counter to the Blink, but they just need some form of initiation. Remember what I said earlier? It's like, unless you get a good cask or a Stormhammer, there's no way to initiate. Oh, I hear a stun coming in on the right side. They do see on XSS, he does have the Vanguard. In fact, that might be enough to keep him alive a little bit longer. Meanwhile, on the RTK on the bottom side, trying to protect CTY. Not going to be enough, and RTK now being focused on the right side. 430 out of mana, but he's just right-clicking away. Ravage will focus on 430. Keep in mind, he has the Aegis. Blinking forward, focusing on QD, down to about a quarter HP. Earth Spirit taking a little bit of damage here. QD doesn't care. He actually runs forward. Now he runs back. Raw might actually die here. HYM doing a lot of damage for support. They blink forward. They want QD, and they are going to get QD. And they might get Dusa on the way out, at least going to take away from Aegis. Cloud's going to come out here, backing him up a little bit. And 430 is going to take one down before he does die. Boboka, does he have his ultimate? No, he doesn't. Drum charges, still at 4. It looks like everybody will back out. Or not. That's an Eye of Scotty. 26 minutes in with Maelstrom, with Dragonlance. 430 is farmed.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually thinking that Vici just are slowly losing their grip on this game. Like, the Sven and the Medusa have been pretty far ahead on net worth pretty much for the entire game. But it's like the Medusa obviously carries the gold very well. And so does the Sven.
Right.
Spectre, her Radiance timing is so late that the rest of the heroes on IG just don't really care that much about the burn at this point. It's like if the AA Blast isn't on point from burning, then the Radiance just is meaningless because you're not getting any meaningful damage from it. You know, the heroes aren't going to shatter. We're going to be seeing an eventual pipe come up on XXS as well, even though his farm has fallen off a little bit. I kind of worry for Vici that they're not really going to have the tools necessary to deal with these two like ridiculously farmed cores of IG.
I absolutely agree. And DK at this point, since, you know, we're somewhat past the outer tower pushing phase, I suppose, his relevance is starting to really drop. I mean, I'm saying this, and he has a blink armlet BKB. Normally you're like, you know, hey, DK's really relevant, but against the like of a Sven and a Dusa, I'm not sure how much he is relevant.
Yeah, that's kind of my concern as well.
He's pretty much just a stun at this point. Maybe some slow once you get to level 16.
It's honestly just because Stone Gaze stops all the momentum of Vici's fight. That's the real issue. They don't have enough magical damage on their own to burst the hero down. So when that's the case, as we see Sylar actually get a pick off there. But because they need to rely on both damage types, it's just tough.
All right, we're going to see a jump forward here from QD. They're going to lock down Wrong, though, and they are going to bring him down. Stone Gaze is going to come out here, and Sylar needs to just straight up run from that. Are they going to right-click him down? Actually, 430 runs forward, gets off the Stone Gaze stun here. They are going to get the Sylar kill. Ice Blast does sit on the 2-4s, and the Ravage is going to come out, but do you have enough damage? Radiance Burn is actually combining with the burn damage quite well there. 430 runs forward. He's saying, I got the mana shield, but he's actually going to have to use this. No, he already does on Mages. Trying to set up the vacuum wall. No, everything's on cooldown. 430 is just man fighting in the middle. Is he going to win this man fight? No, he will not. The vacuum's going to come through just very late, and CTY barely survives through that. And the Greaves regen had a big part in that. Remember, when you drop low, your regen takes up quite a bit, and you got a ton of armor on top of that as well.
Man, they executed that fight so well. They kited out the Medusa ulti as long as they could. They had the best target possible for the Sven to be hitting during God Strength, which is obviously the Dragon Knight. As, you know, Boboka just casually kills Burning here.
Wow, you want to blink in?
I don't know about that blink. I think he's a goner. Just kicked in the head. But yeah, the execution of the team fight there from Vici was pretty much flawless. Yep. They waited out the BKBs. The Ravage lands on both cores after the magic immunity is gone. Even though at the beginning of the fight they ended up losing their DK, he's the best target for them to dump all of their abilities into because he has the most effective health.
Yep.
So that was just absolutely perfect. Ice Blast was on point, Ravage was on point, CTY with some really nice kiting as well.
Kind of just ran around the Dusa.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when the DK died it was probably just going to be, you know, IG steamrolling it, but Vici with some nice patience and a couple of well-placed ultimates managed to turn it around.
Now, even though that fight went really well for Vici, I am still concerned about the DK, because if that's what it takes for them to win the fight, where he kind of just have to die and absorb damage, you know, he is going to kind of fall off.
Yeah, maybe, but that was only his first death.
That is true.
So Sylar still got
He's actually 5-1 and 6 before that, so.
Yeah. His net worth is also like only slightly behind the Medusa, so it's not as if that one death is crippling him or anything. It was just, you know, happenstance that he was the one that IG were going on.
Right, so I'm just wondering, and perhaps a little bit worried, whether it's going to become a trend, right? If Vici's going to win team fight, they need him to soak damage and need him to die.
I guess it just depends on how the fight kicks off. So like normally, because of his items, having a Blink Dagger and wanting to go into the fight, it's just natural that IG would react and want to, you know, hit the person that jumps in the middle of their entire team.
Correct.
Which is more or less what happens. So I guess there is a possibility of it being a trend and him dying maybe a handful of times, but if the trade that they get is their entire team wiping IG, then that's fine. Like, if I'm DK, I'd take that trade any day of the week.
Yeah, and he's Belgian tankier. I imagine this is going to turn into an AC.
Yeah, probably.
interesting to see him not opening things up with plate mail, but obviously this is let him farm a little bit faster. In any case, we are going to see a little bit of initiation coming out here from VG Gaming. They got a hasted DK. Fortunately, the hasted DK doesn't know where his enemies are, so gonna just deward a little bit and call it a day, I guess.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Setting up potentially for the next Roshan, which will be spawning anywhere from 45 seconds to 4 minutes, give or take.
Is there an answer for this Spectre?
Yeah, having the pipe on Darkseer. And also the fact that, you know, Sven at pretty much every stage in the game can kill a Spectre. Because the way that Spectre works, right, is he jumps around, or she jumps around the fight, she looks for squishy targets in the back, she kills them. And then she just kills the cores that are left over because they have no support. But Sven does so much damage that the Spectre kind of has to avoid him until God's Strength is down.
Sure. I mean, that's assuming that we got... I think once the Fuso Blade comes out, that becomes perhaps a different story.
Yeah, maybe.
That's where, you know, the Spectre could begin kiting around Sven. Just kind of whittle him down with the burn damage. And speaking of that Diffuso, it is literally the next item choice. Yep. I thought he was going to get Manta first for a little bit more stats, but... Diffuso Blade to up that damage output here.
Again, it's the same story as last game, or earlier. It's like there's nothing to Manta.
Yeah. I mean, I think Manta is just fine if you got the Yasha already, just to get that extra stats, especially on a Spectre. But
yeah, maybe.
Manta's still very good at applying your own, you know, the desolate damage.
But I think the big thing is when you're finishing an item that costs roughly the same as a Diffusal,
you might as well get the Diffusal because it's a new item.
Well, not only that, but it gives you more kill potential than just having the Manta.
Sure.
Because it gives you the Purge, and that's really what's going to allow you to get the kills sticking on a target.
And actually quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Good agi gain.
We do see us kind of slowing down in a farming phase, and some key items are coming your way. We get the Refresh Aura being built up here by ROTK. Of course, that Diffusal Blade being finished.
He's actually fairly close.
Yeah. And of course the AC being finished on Sylar. Anything big here from the from IG side? QD's working on crits.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, we talked about the Scotty already,
yep.
So.
I mean, what's Dusa getting next? Are we looking at a Butterfly here, or?
I think Butterfly is really solid. I think MKB is also good, and you know, another damage item. I wouldn't necessarily say that he hits like super hard yet, but he has a tremendous amount of attack speed.
Yeah.
So having a pure damage item on top of that can help. Plus there's Radiance Burn, so yeah, I think MKB is really good. It could also be Daedalus.
Is there any reason you would go back for a Manta or anything like that if you're Dedusa?
I mean, I really like Yasha personally. I think it's just such a value item on heroes like Dusa, but if you've already gone this far without buying it, I don't really see any particular reason to buy Manta style unless you're really like not enjoying the Geomagnetic Grip Silence or Cold Feet.
Ooh, here comes the Sun back wall. That's going to be on 4 or 5. And the right clicks are coming out. 430 is going in. And Sylar, well, he's soaking up damage, but I'm not sure whether he soaked enough. On the back line, looks like they got a support there. No, that was CTY. Did he hunt it?
He most certainly did.
Well, ROTK now says, team, normally that's what I do. I jump into the team.
That was a pretty questionable decision there from CTY. That was actually just... That was pretty bad, to be honest.
Definitely some sort of miscommunication.
So here's the thing, right? When you cast Haunt, and the Medusa has Stone Gaze active, your team cannot help you because they have to run past the Medusa. And looking at the Medusa results in you being frozen. I mean, we're going to see an A blast in the pit here from Burning, but it's not really going to do much. I think IG just walk away with this Roshan. Yeah, that was maybe the most questionable choice I've seen all day from CTY.
And I've seen some questionable choices from CTY.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to call this in the bag.
It's looking pretty good for IG right now.
But when there's a Dusa with 2 life and he's got 4K go in the bank, you know, looking up to pick up.
And he has 322 last hits.
Hey.
Hey. Sorry, I'm tired.
Now way more than 322. Looks like he's going to pick up a BKB. All right, respecting the damage output.
I suppose they have pretty adequate damage just by having the Sven. You know, we showcased in that last fight. They managed to tear through a DK with a BKB and some solid items. So if you can kill him, you should pretty much be able to kill anyone.
Still wears me out a little bit to see the BKB on a hero that essentially will want to soak damage, but I think what IG is looking to do is basically be able to deal out damage instead of just soaking damage outright.
Well, the other thing too about BKB Dusa is, if you think about it this way, you're technically immune to damage when you BKB and ult.
Yeah.
Because you can't be hit by heroes even if they have BKB, and you can't be hit by magical damage because you're magic immune. So
just a lot of uptime on survivability. Yep. Here we go. 430, hitting up the high ground. Yeah, turn off that split shot. You're just hitting one thing. Alright, stun is gonna fly out here against 430. And they'll slowly work on it. Mana shield is taking it to a little bit under the tower shot, but I don't think he cares too much here.
This is looking to be a very strong timing here from IG.
Yeah.
They're going to need like a perfect team fight, I think, for vg to defend this.
Hard to find one. I mean, the best team fight spell is Ravage and perhaps Earth Spirit kicks and silences, but IG actually backs off. Any reason that you think that they're backing off? It looks like bot is pretty pushed in. That's a good reason.
Yeah, definitely is. You don't want to give, you know, vg an opening to split up the map, because you just know that if you're this far ahead, you really want to be pushing in like all lanes simultaneously, holding vg inside of their base. I mean, of course, it's a tall order, but that's the ultimate idea. Oh, my headset just had a mind of its own there, sorry.
And this is, again, a do or die situation here for IG. They're down one game. This is their last best of 3. If they lose it, they had a lot of confidence here in the Dusa pick. And so far, they're being rewarded. Aegis is gonna time out soon here, so I like to see IG to kind of take a bigger step up onto the high ground and start, you know, sieging permanently, essentially. 2 minutes left on the shield. CTY, that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking this game and just thinking to myself, you know, the perfect team fight for vg already kind of happened when they were in their own woods. But getting that to happen twice in a row, that ain't going to be easy.
Yep. Alright, there's that Manta. I think if Spectre's gonna have a peek, it's right about now. Ooh. QD. They'll have to pop a stun here on an illusion. They'll probably wait a little bit longer before they jump. They don't even need a jump, you know. Make them come to you. You're the Dusa hitting the Raxus.
Yeah.
Okay, Blink. They're actually gonna start things on 430. No. They're not starting anything on 430. Basically trying to whittle her down, but I don't think she cares. I'd like to see her actually toggle that split shot off and just hit the buildings, but
I think it's okay. You can leave it on because of the creep wave too.
Yeah. Well, they do get one. And they'll get another. I mean, vg's got to do something.
Yeah, but what can they do? I think they have to wait at least for the Aegis to go away.
Okay.
Or, you know, they can just get some free damage because she eats a cold feet.
And she's got Aegis. She'll probably back off. No, they're going to jump in right now. Silent gets actually forced that forward here. BKB gets pop here. No crits just yet. Oh, God, there's 2 crits in a row. Just kidding.
All right, rip.
All right, Blink Ravage. That's 5. Did they get a buyback on top of that? Ice Blast going to come in here. Looks like Dusa's going to die in the front. So new Stone Gaze, but that's a back wall into 3 right there. QD's trying to run away, and Dusa, meanwhile, on the back line, cuts off the retreat path. CTY in a lot of trouble. CTY now goes forward, looking for the kill. And now Dusa just hurtling them away like sheep.
I mean, can he actually get a kill here? Kind of thinking no. Yeah, and he's going to be able to walk it off, so...
Okay.
They,
That's not too terribly bad.
They only lost the Ranger X. And I mean, that's also a refresher up on ROTKs. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive.
They're going to have double Ravage, potentially, for the next base offense. I don't think they want to try to force a team fight too soon, considering the fact that their DK is dead.
I think this is where I look to 430, and the fact that if he had a BKB, instead of... if he had, let's say, a butterfly, maybe it'll kill somebody in the fights.
Yeah, that's That's kind of what I was wondering as well, but you could also make the counter argument that if he had anything other than BKB, that vg might have felt confident enough to just full out, go on them and take a fight, and who knows how that would have ended up.
That's fair.
So I think for the purpose that IG wanted it for, it was fine.
Normally you see that Aegis high ground push and all you got is the range racks. You're a little bit concerned, but I don't think we need to be concerned at all here about 430 and the rest of IG.
I mean, he's going to have his next item anyway in like, a couple hundred gold. Regardless of what he decides to buy. And I think he just bought a quarterstaff, right? Yeah. So it looks like it will be butterfly. And now it's just a waiting game here for vg. Revit is going to be up in about 35 seconds. I would like to see them do something a bit more aggressive since they do have the refresher up on ROTK. This is a rare opportunity for them to get something done. And maybe, take a little bit of the map control back from IG, which they haven't had for quite some time. But it's still very, very difficult. And obviously no MKBs being up on the side of VG Gaming just yet means the Spectre and the DK are going to have a hell of a time taking down Ferrari in these fights. It's going to be totally reliant on, I think it's hard to ignore the Dusa at this point, but you kind of have to. Because if you commit everything into that hero, her effective health pool is just gigantic.
I think maybe until the next side then you could still technically ignore her, but
I don't know, man. She's got let's see, 2,700 health and 1,600 mana. And it's 2.5 damage per mana as well.
No, I'm saying you until he picks up the next item, you can still ignore her.
Oh, you mean just kill around her and save her for last? Yeah,
but
perhaps.
Once you pick up the next item, that's it. That's when you kind of have to make the hard choice of either focusing her or just die.
I mean, the other thing too is maybe Sylar farms a bit and he gets an MKB, or maybe CTY decides he wants to go that route. Because I do think having an MKB on one of those two heroes is going to be necessary if they want to kill Ferrari.
Sure.
The magic damage is not going to be enough. The AA blast is only level 2. There's no Aghanims. Even if CTY has Radiance and Desolate, could be too little.
He's got a BKB, so.
Yeah. Oh, he bought a heart, actually. Okay. So he's going for the most effective HP that he can feasibly get.
Okay.
I suppose it's one of those situations where you don't want to just eat a stray stun from a cask, for example, or maybe a Stormhammer gets cast and then you just suddenly are dead because Sven.
At the same time, I'm not exactly sure how much beyond that it will block.
I mean, it'll keep him alive a few more seconds. And sometimes that's all you need to get the Manta style off or, purge and run away.
Sure.
But I know where you're coming from. It's kind of the Sven already does so much damage that having a little bit of extra health is probably not going to delay it too often. And, maybe he gets lucky and gets 2 crits in a row. You could just die anyway.
Right. Well, IG is definitely going to wait for the next Roche. There's no hurry whatsoever for them to push and finish this game. They are working with the much better here late game carry. And that's actually
going in.
Saying a lot because they got the Spectre.
It's not often you see a game where one team has a significantly better late game than a Spectre team.
Yeah. 430 scouts out the smoke gang. There's the enemy team coming. They will not accept. Oh, I hear a stun ultimate going on the background. Sven just gets a quick, easy kill. They see DK. Sylar's going to get off the stun. They're going to haunt it immediately, and they're going to get one quick kill. CTY now going to Sven. Actually going to just man-fight a Sven, forcing out the TP. That's a pretty good beginning of the fight. 430 now man-fighting against 3. 4 Ice Blast on top. He does. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. The Ravage will come out here. BKB gets popped here by 430. He's man-fighting, but I think with the Ice Blast, they might actually win the man-fight here. Yeah, they will win the man-fight. What?
That was so weird from IG. They really overestimated how strong they were, being that outnumbered. The other thing, too, is Butterfly Evasion doesn't do anything against Desolate, so you're still taking damage. I mean, granted, Burning, or not Burning, Ferrari still did a tremendous amount of damage, but the Spectre actually out-damaged him during that fight, which is kind of insane because the Spectre did 7,000 damage and the Medusa did 6,300. And that was pretty much by herself because the Ravage obviously hit onto the Darkseer and he wasn't able to contribute much to the team fight other than, you know, doing the vac wall. But probably ill-advised to fight when your Sven is pretty much already out of the engagement.
I wonder if they felt like they couldn't retreat because they're not mobile enough. I mean, you're trying to retreat against a Spectral Dagger, Blink Dagger.
That's probably true.
So they kind of just had to take the fight.
It's not like Ferrari didn't get anything from it, too. He did kill, I think, what, 2 of them?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a total catastrophe, but it certainly makes vg feel a bit more confident. It's 4,000 gold now on CTY after finishing his heart. Maybe he just goes back for the Abyssal Blade with the
Yeah, I think it's about time. You know, that BKB is being annoying enough.
Alright, Roshan's up. IG. Know that it's there, as do Vici. But there are no Ravages up on Vici right now. And Medusa's going to be spawning here in about a second or two, which means I think IG should still have time to do this. Especially when you have a Sven.
Ooh, especially with Ice Blast.
Oh, they're going to delay it a bit.
Ooh, QD's going to get stunned up, half HP. Then Han pops a Manta. He pops a BKB and just essentially has to run. No, he's fighting, and RTK taking a ton of damage. RTK straight up dead here. CTY isolated because of the Stone Gaze. They're going to try to bail him out here with the row in, with the stun. He's okay running at the high ground. He will be okay. Oh no, the last lightning proc from 430. Just zap him from a mile away. We know Sylar now getting slowed down by the Scotty. He needs to arm toggle with some ferocity here. Wrong. Ooh, that's going to get a blink away. So, end of the day here, pretty big team fight victory. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but because you got the Dusa, I'll trade a Sven for a Spectre.
HYM wants to go for the steal, man. He wants it so bad. He's going to have some expert timing to get this, though. Dusa dropping the Dragon Lance back at base. Dude, if he gets this, that would be so sick.
He's got no vision, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have vision. He's going to go solely on reaction, I think.
Oh.
Not too late. Oh, he might get the cheese.
Okay. Damn, got him.
Got the cheese. Or no, he didn't get the cheese. The Witch Doctor did.
Oh, didn't die. Good try.
He didn't have that sixth sense, you know?
That bamboo sense.
Didn't know exactly when it was going down.
Think right there you make that bamboo play, you know?
I think you do too. Because now it's like, okay, Darkseer has Hex. Ferrari's got 2 lives and a double damage rune. I think it's about time to hit those panic stations if you're Vici. Looking at the situation and just saying to yourself, okay, well, it was really hard for us to kill the Medusa once, and now we got to kill her twice.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It's going to be a hard road for sure. Fortunately, everyone on the side of Vici who really needs it does have buyback. Deer Spirit and RTK are the only 2 who don't, but there is double Ravage. So double Ravage might be enough to turn the team fight in their favor. I think that IG will potentially end up losing a lot of heroes regardless of what happens, unless Vici deem it not really worth it to defend the 1 melee racks. Which I suppose is a possibility. There is still a tier 2 top, and they might choose to fight bottom instead of mid.
No, they're trying to gun down 430 a little bit here. 430 goes to the low ground, respects it.
And there's that MKB we were talking about earlier there.
They will wait out this Sven. In fact, they'll join up with the Sven. Actually, Blink Hex back here. And CTY, if he dies here, that's going to be huge. Ooh, okay, going forward. Trickster's Tracer being thrown out as well. Wrong, in a lot of trouble. Ravage going to come through here against 430. But Stone Gaze, though, will propagate through. RTK is going to take quite a bit of damage from 430. 430 on the front line. My god, the siege cannon that he is. Just right-clicking. The Sun's going to come through against Sylar, and Sylar will be dead. Defensive Force Staff's going to be there. Ice Blast, though, again, hitting 2 core, backing back in here. They're going to look for HYM, but HYM dropping a huge O. Somehow they're actually winning this fight without losing a single hero. Vici right now is playing out of their mind, now focusing on 430. He's purged up right now. Vac is going to come in. Wall's going to get dropped here. 430 down to half, down to a quarter. They're actually going to kill 430. My god, they kill him twice. We said it might not be
Jesus.
Might not be possible, but somehow, some way. What?
These fights are actually so insane from Vici. They're playing it perfectly. Like, they're baiting out so hard And then Ferrari gets super overconfident, knowing that he just has that second life, pops the BKB, and then respawns, has pretty much nothing left because Stone Gaze was already used. And they just kite him out. Like, the Medusa's just getting kited during the engagements, and the Sven can't stand against the AA blast and the Ravage hitting on both cores. Like, RTK, the first Ravage was kind of, you know, it was mediocre. Second Ravage was amazing. So all of a sudden, you have all this momentum just halted in the team fight from IG. And with Wrong not really being able to contribute that much, and the Darkseer, he's not really a damage dealer. He's just trying to set up the engagement. They actually are still suffering from being able to deal enough damage fast enough to get kills.
I mean, that fight started with a Blink Hex from the Darkseer into a follow-up Sven stun, and they could not get the kill.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to come out a little bit harder here as we do see the hearts being picked up en masse. Now, Sven's got one. I got to say, those defensive 4-staffs, one from Bernie.
That was really good.
And another for Aimtry when really saved the day.
I mean, I only saw a part of the fight because, you know, reasons. But,
we don't jinx. We're looking pretty good here on the main
I mean,
screen.
yours is fine, but I have to look over to your screen every once in a while to actually tell what the heck's going on.
Well, I hope you can see what's going on here as VG Gaming.
They're going in?
Yeah, go straight up to the tier 4s. Tier 3, sorry. Not tier 4s yet.
You know, honestly, I really have to give props to RTK this game, because we were kind of poking fun at how he hasn't really used any Ravages, but the last couple of team fights, especially ever since he picked up the Refresher, his Ravages have been integral to them winning the team fight. Because it just sets up for the rest of VG to get in position, you know, pop the Manta style on the CTY Spectre, surround the Sven, kill him. Once the Sven is dead, the Medusa still does a fair amount of damage. Maybe with the addition of the MKB it will be enough. But we've been seeing this consistent theme of heroes getting away with very low health on the side of VG and them able to just turn the engagement based on kiting.
Yeah. And now with the double heart on the side of Radiant, anytime you get away with that low HP, it's going to be a 4 HP hero coming back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you feel like we are reaching to a stage where Dusa is just not killing the team fast enough on the other side? And
well, we haven't seen the effect of the MKB because the last engagement at the tier 2 top, he had an Aegis in that spot. So I think after now, like double MKB, when you know that the Spectre has Butterfly and Radiance, that mischance not being a factor anymore for her survivability is going to be a big deal. So I think that maybe this is what IG need to kind of tip the scales.
We'll see what they find the fight. They smoke up. They're going right up a hill, man. Blink Hex is the name of the game. RTK actually breaks it. In fact, they're going to back wall on top of 3. Ravage, though, gets dropped. Where's the BKB? RTK now goes to the low ground thanks to the fact that he does get 4-staff. Stone Gaze coming out, and CTY. Was he even in there? CTY gets out of there by himself.
That was a disaster.
That was a 3-man fight. In fact, it's going to be a 4 burning. He's going to get burned down here on the left side. And I think IG, unless we see a lot of buybacks here coming out from Vici, is going to get a straight up racks. Buyback check. We got nothing.
Yeah, that was an unmitigated disaster.
All right, Burning's got one, but that's pretty much it. Well, that's going to be 2 sets of racks.
Could honestly just be game. I mean, maybe not, given the fact that it's like 54 minutes in and everyone on the side of Vici has a lot of items, but still. That was pretty lopsided.
Well, well, well.
That looks like the Sven Dusa late game turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that, of course, is attributed to XXS and his really good initiation, and now looks like IG realized that they don't have buybacks, and they're starting to deal a bit of damage to the tier 3s, clearing out the huts to make sure the creeps can hit the towers before they leave the base.
Yeah, they are hitting it.
And it looks like we could potentially be seeing a game 3 here.
I think, you know, despite the late game play, which honestly kind of went both ways, I don't think either team played particularly too well. Because for all the IG victory, we definitely seen some VG victory as well. The stage of the game where I felt like VG or IG played much better is really the early game, you know. Making sure they don't drop the outer towers.
Yeah.
How long did the tier 1 mid survive? Like 20 something minutes, right?
It was more than 25 minutes, I think.
And that just can't be a thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. But again, it's just down to IG understanding their lineup. Like, they just needed to make sure that they had you know, 25, 30 minutes to have their at least jungle to themselves and not have vg's heroes walking around with Haunt and, you know, Ice Blast, that global capability of being able to just pick people. And because their item progression came up at a decent timing, they were able to take integral fights that put them in a position to win the game. Easy peasy. I mean, there were a couple of shaky moments, don't get me wrong. Like vg taking the fight in their own woods near where the tier 2 bottom was. That was a really solid fight from them. Winning that team fight top against Aegis, like killing the Medusa twice, that was insane. Like, there's no way they should have been able to win that engagement, but they still managed to do it.
Yeah.
So even being down 2 sets of racks, is 2 minutes left until Roshan actually spawns. You know, vg got one last shot, and it's going to be Rosh.
TI6 blinks forward. Now that one last shot, I don't exactly know how, but I guess you get them to commit on one of your heart carriers to force them out. Kind of get a replicate of that previous fight on the top lane, essentially. Yeah. And you blow up 430.
I mean, that's still a tall order, you know, killing that Dusa.
430? Doesn't have Aegis, though.
Yeah, but I think the more common theme has been just going for the Sven. Like, killing the Sven is just easier. Because he doesn't have quite the same effective health pool. Obviously, the BKBs are down to 5 seconds regardless of who you go on. But, like, when the Sven gets his Warcry, like, purged off due to CTY having the Diffusal Blade and there's, like, Manta Illusions attacking him, he just dies.
Yeah. I mean, Desolate doesn't help him either.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, throws out a Scouter. Not going to see too much. In fact, they will smoke up right after that. I think they would like to have Ice Blast, though, for this fight. Definitely a critical part in their teamfight damage output. Roll forward. Ooh, smoke's going to break here, and they're going to go on 430. Force Staff's going to be their Ravage. BKB going to get pop out. They get round. They're going to pop out second Ravage. 430 going to TP out. No, that's actually a TP in. Yeah, that's going to from QD. QD comes in with like half HP. They do see CTY on the left side here. And God, he's taking a ton of damage. No, he's going to turn it around. They do get spent, and now they're going to focus on 430 again with the Ice Blast on top. They get 430.
Oh, well, they all have buybacks.
They do have buybacks, but damn, they need to use triple buybacks.
I think it was just... Was it 2 or 3? I thought it was only 2.
Darkseid brought back 2. That's triple buyback.
Oh, yeah, Darkseid brought back. You're right. Okay. Well, their lanes are getting pushed in, so it's not even really as if Vici can do a lot about this. And oh man, Roshan timing OP. They're not gonna see it, so now IG are gonna walk back to the pit just in time.
I mean, I still am baffled how Vici is really winning these fights.
I mean, those Ravages won them the fight, like hands down. There's not even a question that the Ravages won them the fight. It hit like the entirety of IG almost. And maybe QD, you know, teleporting on top of the Medusa when his entire team was ravaged was maybe not the play. But, you know, at the very least, Roshan's up, and it seems like IG will have all of their tools available before Vici, which kind of seems to be the theme here. They're so reliant on Tidehunter at this point in the game to have his ultimates up that whenever it's not, it always seems like it's just synergizing with Roshan spawning. So, like, IG never have to worry about Ravage because it's always down when it's up. Or when Roshan's up.
Maybe it's time to pick that Octarine, dude.
I mean, they're just going to smoke and kill Roshan and then go for the last set of racks. Refresher on CTY here.
Okay.
I mean, Vici can't fight this. Like, there's just no way.
Damn, I try. Ice Blast gonna fly through here.
Oh, wait, actually, okay, the Sven has spots too. Never mind. I was going to say the Sven's not there. But
oh, God. Here it comes. Ravager available. 430's going to pop the ult. Meanwhile, the CT1 on the backline just kills one immediately. BKBs are all pop left and right here. They see R. CK, that's a two-man stun.
Okay.
Cloud, they don't need Cloud because dude just got crit down. We better see some buyback coming out here. And CTY forced to really fight by himself because he can't run.
He can buy back refresh. He can buy back refresh.
Okay, you can. But it's not like the IG.
No, they can still fight. They can still fight.
Well, they better fight quick because Roche is dropping fast. Face boot's being dropped on the ground here. And 430.
Wait, burning this hole to the well. What's happening?
Okay.
Okay. I actually think that they should have bought back and fought there.
Burning did what?
He ulted the well. The A blast.
To the Radiant. The Dire well.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe he was trying to hit QD. I think QD was really low on life.
I mean, he doesn't even have Acceptor, so I don't know.
Why didn't CTY buy back?
With the Hanin?
I mean, he has Refresher.
Yeah.
So he buys back. He pops the Refresher. He knows QD's low on life. They can kill the Medusa.
I think they just made
and they
a call.
know the Medusa doesn't have buyback.
I think they just made a call on the
Yeah, but there's actually just no way that you should save buyback there. It's not even a safe play because you know the Sven's pretty much dead. I don't know. I think that was really questionable.
I mean, it's hard to know exactly why they didn't buy back, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They perhaps really missed a good opportunity, like you said.
I think it was a huge chance for them.
Yep. Well, we're going to see Abyssal Blaze start to come out here. QD's got one for himself. Does Medusa's, well, 7 slotted at this point. Sorry, the Spectre 7 slotted. Medusa might as well be 7 slotted. She's got a Moon Shard consumed as well.
Yeah. Well, you can definitely tell there's a lot of pressure on both teams here. You know, IG especially, because they're pretty much one game away from not being able to go to TI.
Man, that's not the way to think, man. One game away from getting closer to go to TI.
No, but I mean, it's good that IG are doing well under pressure is what I'm saying. You know, they're making the right plays, and vg are kind of struggling a bit here in game 2. And as a typical UNI fashion, we have a super long game.
Oh, that's great. It's not like we had a 15-hour workday or anything, but
technically 17, but for me,
okay.
I've been here for a super long time.
You didn't have to host Slacks being an idiot in Mafia game either.
That's
I think
true.
that adds about 4 hours to my work time.
Or it takes like 4 hours off your life.
Yeah.
One
about the same, yeah. But I do live for one of these games.
Yeah.
I actually am getting.
I mean, this is a really close game.
I'm getting a second win just from.
You want to share a little bit of that with me? It's like brush it over my way, you know.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
I'm like dying over
Dude,
here.
we got a game 3 if IG takes this one.
Yeah, I know. People at home can't see it, but there's like a tear that just rolled down my cheek, you know.
Oh my god.
All right, so IG, they dropped the boots on Ferrari, so he's got inventory slot for the Aegis. Not necessarily the fastest thing in the world, but still does a crap load of damage.
Reminds me of that one game where I think it was LD that cast it. We gotta do something like double divine.
Yeah.
At a pace of a snail, just like inching forward. 430 not hitting that hard yet, but we might be getting there.
I mean, he still hits pretty hard. The other thing too you have to keep in mind is MKB and the Mjolnir procs. Like that adds quite a bit of DPS, and he's got a huge amount of attack speed.
Oh my god, my ears are getting wrecked by these headphones too.
Really? I think they're pretty comfortable. Maybe I just have small, dainty ears. You got them Dumbo ears, dude.
Is there in any world that... Oh, you know what? I was going to say, is there in any world where vg could kill 430 twice? We've seen it.
Yeah,
they've
literally done it.
Yeah. It's just that it's so much more difficult for vg to do that than I just roll up, hit a stun, and just win, right?
I agree.
Yeah, vg has to out-execute, outperform. And like you said previously, it's just really from the back of TIE Hunter.
Yeah, R2K's Ravages need to be on point.
Yep.
They need to kite out the BKBs because they're only 5 seconds right now.
Yep. And
then as soon as that happens, they get their counter initiation, Burning throws out an ultimate, and then they hopefully get kills off of it. That's what they're kind of relying on. And, you know, CTY has also got highest net worth in the game right now. He's pretty much hard 6-slotted. He can only really buy Moonshard. He has enough money for it and buyback right now. He's just
he's 7-slot already with the refresher,
of course.
Yeah. You know, you say, oh, all they need to do is pay out the BKB, but
I'm not saying it in a way that it's easy.
Right.
But it's the thing they have to do.
Yeah. Also, they need to take a fight in a way where they don't get 5-man vac comboed, because that's kind of how they lose as well.
You mean kind of what happened when they were sitting in the Dire Woods and they got 3-man vac and is instantly killed?
I mean, there has been so many fights up to this point that I'm kind of blurred up.
Oh, dude, I remember. I remember everything.
All right. That's why you the old man here.
Yep. I'm like the Dota player that never forgets to kill. You don't get the reference because you don't watch TV shows, but it's fine. I'm sure somebody got it.
I watch some TV shows.
Yeah, but not the one I was talking about. It's all right. I forgive you, Lumi.
Thank you.
But yeah, still just more passivity here. I'm wondering you know, if IG aren't feeling just a bit hesitant because the last time they had Aegis, the team fight actually went really, really badly for them.
Right.
Because, you know, the Aegis is already gone now on Ferrari, but something's got to give at some point, right? Like, you need to actually try to end the game.
You technically don't.
I mean, you technically you don't.
We can sit here and farm a while.
You kind of do want to, because I think that when push
back.
comes to shove, like, Burning still has more items he can buy. You know, we haven't even seen the ag items up yet, because usually the fight's over by the time the ultimate would even tick off anyway.
Oh.
There can be an Octarine on Tide.
Popoka, not like this. Get up. Oh, what?
They don't have detection, I don't think. Oh, no, there's a gem on RTK.
I guess right now VG Gaming is also working under the fact that they're kind of scared. They saw Popoka, it's like, oh, the rest of the team is there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's one team fight from losing your base.
Yeah.
I think they're just saving for everyone to have buyback pretty much.
Speaking of buyback, let's quickly check who's got it. Spectre's got it on the Radiant side.
DK's is just on cooldown. I think he actually has the money. And those are pretty much the two that matter, I suppose. Because if RTK blows all his spells and doesn't have buyback, it doesn't much matter.
We are 66 minutes in the game, and it's so odd to see Burning to actually only have Hex and Force Staff. I think an Aghanims throughout this game would have gone a long, long way, but obviously really didn't have an opportunity to pick it up. And when he did pick up the Hex, I guess he felt the Hex was more relevant for that stage of the game.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, this is the type of game where you go 67 minutes and you just ask yourself, why did I not just buy a Midas?
Yeah, man.
Like, Midas, by this point in the game, he'd have, like, another item.
Or two.
Or two, yeah.
I ask myself that question every day.
Yep.
I eat breakfast. Why don't I have a Midas?
Midas value. Especially against a team with a Medusa. Like, Midas just seems almost just, like, intuitive at that point, you know? It's like, oh, they clearly want to go for a later stage game. Why don't I just buy a Midas?
I think, you know, to dial it back for viewers that perhaps might be just joining us, I do see the multi-stream covering our game here. You know, VG spent the majority of the first half of this game kind of pressuring.
Yeah, they were looking for fights for sure.
Yeah, and Midas is probably not the best pressure item.
No, I mean, I agree with that. It's just like, AA is always that hero who's somewhere else on the map, not necessarily always at the fights, throwing out Ice Blast and just trying to keep his net worth up more than most other supports.
You know, that's the thing, that Burning, at least from this game, he's been in the fights. He's actually not really throwing away half across map ults.
It could also be because there's a Ricky on the other team.
Yeah, I think that's it. With the max, was it Cloak and Dagger?
Yeah.
I think every time he tried to leave, sticking away from this team, he just died.
He just got stabby to death.
Yeah.
It is a hard life for an Ice Cream against a Ricky. Can definitely confirm that. But some nice movement here from VG. They were just trying to play some aggressive wards.
I am going to check over Vision here. Radiant working with quite little. Dire about the same.
I mean, I think both teams are honestly just scared. And rightfully so.
Well, here's the thing, right? We have some time for some philosophy here because we were walking around. If two people are at a fight and they're both scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is one man wrong then? One of them wrong?
No. Why would they be wrong?
If both of them are running away from a fight. Oh, here we go. Ferrari's going to get initiated on. Meanwhile, though, we do have Spectre on the backline looking for picks. No, they don't find anything. We do see Deuce's. Oh, Deuce's man all drained away. 120-second dead timer. He does have to buy back. Probably don't want to spend it just for this. Bopuka's on the retreat. He needs to blink away from the target. He will blink away. I thought that was going to be a Ravage. Does have the refresher at the ready. We do have CTY teleporting back to base here to defend. Meanwhile, Sylar sieging. There's no way IG can hold that buyback, right, for 100 seconds?
Well, I mean, considering the fact that
the creep waves are not there.
Oh, CTY just popped his refresher. Okay, so yeah, he can TP back in.
Yeah. Even bottom angle. They're gonna get a Chi2 out of this. Yeah, 430 is not gonna buy back. For
I don't think that's enough damage actually. Like, when you kill the Dusa, you have to force the buyback. They're just really scared that they're gonna get
they're trying to force it right now.
Maybe they just think they need both Ravages in order to take a full-out team fight.
No, I think they just want to get a tier 2, and now they're going to roll in.
Okay.
Here we go. Facing elimination, IG. We'll have the BOT in here from CTY. And here we go. They're going to focus on QD. Buyback has to come back right now. Ravages spend. No buyback still. No buyback still. Finally, buyback comes out here. But QD has also died as a result. Meanwhile, Bobuka trying to delay as much as he can. He goes forward. Bobuka dropping very low. He sees Sylar. Sylar gets 4 step back. Whack! Oh my god! That's going to be on 4. But where's the damage output on the backline? 430. Shooting like a freaking siege cannon. CTY going forward, looking for the kill. He does get wrong. No, he does not. 430. Oh my goodness, the damage output. He also have buyback?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
But he popped his refresher and haunt, so he's not going to be able to get back to the fight.
With their ping out XSS, they're thinking about jumping back in. In both cores.
Why did CTY go into their base? Okay, he came into the team fight. And then he walks into the enemy base to go for a witch doctor. Why, Lumi?
VCTY?
Why?
6-minute king.
6 minutes. Okay, so after 6 minutes, like he's already peaked. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that play justifies itself.
Because now Ferrari's gonna have 2 freaking cheeses.
Can only use them one at a time, and it has a long cooldown. I think he's gonna pick up the Aegis, yeah. You know, yes, he has 2 cheese or, you know, Aegis or whatever. But we are seeing him being dealt with awfully easily.
Yeah, but the last fight was also initiation. Like, sometimes you just get jumped and you're not able to pop your BKB before you die. That's just a thing.
Is that what happened in the last fight?
Yeah.
Would you see the repurchase of the diffusal blade?
Yeah, it's needed, I think.
In fact, he's got a fresh 8 charge 1 and a 3 charge 1.
It's just too good to not have against Sven.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
5-second BKBs, you purge Warcry, and then Sven just dies.
Gonna check out items because we haven't looked at it for a while.
CTY is actually building a completely new inventory in his stash.
I was gonna ask, is this the longest game in the qualifier? It's not even close. I do remember that.
There was like a 2-hour game, wasn't there?
Yeah, I was there watching on the multicast stream. That was hilarious. We saw Helm of Dominator creeps being stacked up, and but
I don't think this game will go 2 hours.
no, it won't. Something's gonna break. Like, there's way too much damage.
Yeah.
And also it's too much better teams playing some real Dota.
Whoa! Shots fired.
I mean, do you disagree?
I'm gonna go ahead and say since it's 8 in the morning, I'll let it slide.
Okay, fair enough.
And 8 in the morning is in we have been here since a long time ago. 8 in the morning. But yeah, I still feel like vg, they have a good shot. They just seem to be out fighting IG more or less. Like, call it what you want, execution, whatever. RTK's Ravage is a bit on point, and could see an initiation here on the Sylar mid. They are smoked.
I think the cores just fight a little bit better. Like, the heroes just fight a little bit better. Oh, CTY gets found here. Nobody's focusing on him. QD, where are you looking at? Oh, he's just running now.
They do not want this. They know that they don't have buybacks.
Might have to get this. XSS gonna pop his BKB. QD pops the BKB and TP. And CTY's going in. All right, he sees the ledge of the base. He popped the 2 BKB, but are they gonna try to fight with the BKBs on CD? Is that the goal here? Is that the idea?
I mean, I think the idea was they knew that Sven and Medusa didn't have buybacks, and they wanted to just run at them as hard as they possibly could.
430, gonna test your base hold. Is there gonna be defensive force up? There is! Oh my god, the Ice Blast is missed. That's huge! I don't think vg can actually fight without the Ice Blast. They're gonna try. The casket will fly out. CTY, defensive force staff. Okay, they're gonna go back in here for 430. 75% health. The Mjolnir popping out some damage. Down to about half HP. Keep in mind, he has no buyback whatsoever. He's punching. He's punching. Alright, he's backing up. Keep in mind, he does have the Aegis, however. Both teams kind of punching each other and nobody giving. I do hear a BKB pop on the back line.
What the heck? Who popped the BKB?
That was the Medusa. He ate the cheese, too.
That had to have been a misclick.
Misclick, but that's a huge misclick at this stage of the game. The Rex is dropping pretty low. I don't even know if the Rex is even that important this stage of the game. Perhaps not.
For a Dusa team, probably not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you need to win a really big fight and hope they.
You know, I would actually turn around and deny my own Rex there.
Because I don't know about that.
No, at this stage of the game, the creeps actually give a significant amount of gold, and you having the bigger creep wave just pushes into the Radiant base, and they get more farm. Like, am I high thinking that?
I think you're kind of high.
All right,
I don't think that farm is really the issue right now.
All right, fair enough. Farm is not the. I mean, the pressure from the creep wave is also not really the issue, right? Like that racks.
Yeah, true, but it's still something that you will eventually have to address.
Dude, it has 100 HP.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's gonna heal.
All right.
It's got like 250 health since you said that.
All right, ROTK gets jump here. Can you burst him down? He pops a refresher. Okay, all the force staff are coming out. Okay, Sylar is in. CTY's in
BKBs
as well.
are almost down.
Oh, QD's now trapped away from his team. This is an awkward angle here. They're going to focus Ferrari. Ice Blast will hit on this time. Ferrari out of HP, out of mana here. Aegis is pop immediately on the back line, though. QD's still alive.
Oh,
we need that back. Oh, where's that back? Well, okay, only going to be on 2, and they're critting down CTY. CTY's dead here. QD gets a double kill. On the back line, they see Sylar. We do see the hunt back in. All right, people are bouncing left and right. CTY, can he make it home? He can here. HYM jumping in. 430 man fight against CTY. Keep in mind, that's his buyback. Sylar coming in, giving him a little bit of assistance. 430 eats a cheese again. How do they have so many cheeses? Oh man, they're saving it. A Bubblegum is going to be there. Tricks of Trade bouncing out. Is there going to be any bashes? No bashes just yet. Focusing on Sylar. Sylar down to about half HP, but very, very tanky. Second Ice Blast. That's going to be on point here against 430, but do they have enough damage? CTY trying to regen what he can here with the heart. There's going to be a grief coming out here. They're going to turn around here. XXS is going to be dead. They blink up 430. Keep in mind, no Aegis, no buyback, no more cheese. He's going to get stunned up, and he is dead.
That's 2 minutes. All core is dead.
Okay, he's got buyback in 30 seconds. But look at the base, dude. Look at the base. They can't push off of this.
I mean, they're going to have to. They have to boots of travel somebody down middle lane like Wrong's
go,
walking towards the enemy base.
Go. Just push.
This is, did they actually not have time? This is kind of terrifying.
I mean, there's buyback in 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever it is.
But it's just one, isn't it? Oh, wait, let me see. Okay, so Sven has buyback. Oh, okay. Sven has buyback really soon.
In 6 seconds. So they got the cores
They
back.
won't be able to.
But actually, I think the most important player in this is the Darkseer. And he doesn't have buyback. Like, it's one thing to have Sven and Dusa. You need control.
But there's no Ravages.
Yeah,
with no Ravages, they're going to have both cores. I mean, sure, you have to force the buybacks, but...
Okay.
Once the buyback... Okay, CTY. Is this necessary?
What do you drop for this? It might be necessary.
Diffusal.
Okay. I mean, you said Diffusal was good, but yeah, I feel this, man. Sylar. Oh, he gets stunned up here by Bubblegum. He pops a BKB man fighting. Ricky pops a Trick of the Trade. And 430 slowly gaining on him. Because okay, defensive force staff's going to come out. Okay, Bubblegum coming forward here. Looking for the plays.
There is Haunt, though. Haunt just came up.
Yep. And I'm not sure where they just spot the Divine here on CTY.
I mean, it's definitely better than Diffusal. There's no question about that.
Yeah, for straight damage output.
Yeah, but the other thing, too, is that Diffusal has been helping so much just
that's what I'm saying.
Target.
That's what I'm saying. The sticking on target is the huge part. I do want to say that this is so, like, iconic. You know, just having an 80-minute game with Sylar burning.
Yeah.
You know, burning playing support, and he's questioning life decisions right now. How did I end up here?
All right, so we're checking the cooldown now of Tidehunt. He has both Ravages up in 5 seconds.
Okay. But the full team is back on IG.
Yeah, but I think this is when you go. Like, okay, he put his Rapier in stash.
Woo! Second Divine.
Okay, the Deuce. All right, now.
What did he drop?
Now we're playing Dota.
What did he drop?
His boots. He just got rid of.
All right, he's the Snail Deucer.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, a Divine at this point on Medusa, it's good, but it's a 5-second BKB.
Yep.
Like, that's my biggest concern, is they actually have so much control on Beachy.
You know what's actually the biggest factor in this game? It's whether the Ice Blast hits or not.
Well, it's that and Ravage.
The Ravage is going to hit. Like, it's just... These team fights are dragging on way too long. You can't kite around the Ravage.
Yeah, probably.
So, to me, the biggest factors are Wrong with this Force Staff. And is that all they have, Force Staff-wise?
And they have one Force and a Glimmer.
Yeah, that's it. Like... Can Burning lob his Ice Blast, and can Wrong save him from it?
Yeah, you might be right. Alright, they're smoked right outside of this. This is Spooksville.
Alright, here we go. Range creeps coming in. They're too afraid.
Yo, that Rax that you said for them to deny is at full HP.
Dude, why am I questioning you? You're the best, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, yep.
Yeah,
I am the best. 430. Kind of afraid going high ground. Again, they have no buyback. They're going to force out the glyph. And the base are, the creep waves are not really pushing out.
They're going for a wraparound.
Okay. Ooh. There's some plays right now.
If they can catch RTK,
who are you going to wrap around? RTK's got Kraken. They lose the Rex, but who cares about the Rex?
Yeah, it's actually not that important.
Yeah, I was going to deny that thing myself earlier. Dude, I'm angry right now. Maledict being dropped on Sylar. Are they waiting out DK for him?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
But he's got heart as well, so he's going to be regenerating all that health back anyway.
Oh, it's just about the range Dragon Tails, you know?
Look at that health regen, man. Jesus.
Okay. Casual 240 HP regen.
Okay, so the Rax isn't a huge deal, but at the same time, VG just got a set of Rax with no contention. Now, I know it's because they don't have buybacks on their cores, and realistically, it's more important to have the buybacks than it is to defend one set of Rax. But what happens if VG go bottom in the next 3 minutes and then they don't buy back again? Or they don't fight again?
Right, so like basically you assume this like this process repeats a couple of times.
Yeah, then it just becomes a matter of, okay, are we just going to let them mega us before we take a fight?
The thing is, does mega actually threaten IG? The creeps alone?
Probably I mean, of course it does. Because you can just sit outside of their base and then they have to kill megas all the time.
Yeah, they can kill mega all the time. You're looking at stacked Sven and a stacked Dusa.
I mean, I'm not arguing that their team is good at killing megas. It certainly is. But there comes a point where there's so many creeps that you just can't do anything. You know what I mean? You're playing Enfos. You're not playing Dota anymore.
Dude. All right. Well, we are not going to get that repetition and iteration because the buybacks are not up yet.
Yeah.
So Vici can still have about 3-4 minutes to make some plays. Sylar walks in, easiest tower of his life. They find one. It's going to be Boboka on the left side here. Boboka dead. Does he have buyback? No.
No, sir.
Do they know that he doesn't buy back?
Probably not.
Alright. They will test it.
Let's
Sylar
go.
Walks up the high ground. And like you said, that's... Ooh, he blinks forward. He wants to actually take the fight. Ravages number 1's going to be good. Refreshes. Ravage number 2. Ice Blast's going to be hit there as well. At 430, a lot of trouble. He actually pops a Stone Gaze. Maybe not so trouble in the first place. Sylar is going to get burned up here. He buys back immediately. He needs a BOT, but CTY is also going to be dead. They're going to focus on 430. He's hexed up. He can't right-click. He's cold-feeded as well, but his team is around him. I don't think he will shatter, and IG 430 will hold thanks to his teammates backing him up.
That was such a bad engagement.
They're going to get one more too. Or will they? QD gets gone on here, and how often do we see this? No, the Blink Hex is going to be good. And all the spells actually missing out.
Oh, there's going to be a haunt as well.
XSS is going to actually get killed here. Does he have buyback?
Wait, no, he didn't use his refresher. CTY, what are you doing?
He just BOT'd in. He's cool.
Yeah, but he doesn't have haunt.
He could deliver the refresher.
Oh, he sold his refresher. Wait, did he sell it?
It's on the... It's on the ground?
He sold it. Dude, he sold it for the rapier.
He's a 6-minute king. Don't question.
I'm actually so confused.
All right, they're going to go for Roche. Who's going to get the Aegis?
Burning? Maybe they give it to CTY and get rid of the boots?
I think the movement's... Okay, I don't know. We'll find out very soon. Roshan is dropping fast. He drops a Manta Stopper.
His Manta, yeah, okay.
And it looks like we drop a Blink Dagger here for Sylar.
They're just going to fight over it.
Ooh, it's going to be close. Ooh, Aegis pop, and they want to fight this. I hear Sven, God Strength. They see Sylar. Are they going to jump on him? That's a question. Stun. BKB not being activated. Ooh, time to go back. Time to go back. 430. Keep in mind that he doesn't have boots, so he's trucking as fast as he can without it.
That big 290 base movement speed.
He can flutter, dude. Like a freaking butterfly. Just get out of there.
Man, this is a crazy game. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I don't even know either.
I didn't even realize that CTY sold his refresher until like 2 minutes ago.
Are you getting that second win now?
A little bit. But I think that if he actually had his refresher there, they would have just won the game. Like, not even a question, they would have just won the game. Because he had... Okay, first off, he had 12 seconds left on his buyback, which is why the engagement was bad. Because if you assume that he has refresher and buyback for that fight, then you can just come right back in. And the Deuce at that point had no mana, no boots, no buyback. They would have just killed Ferrari. Would have been rapier on the ground, would have been game over. Like, no questions asked, they would have just won. But because he sold the refresher, the buyback didn't really matter. So the engagement wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was.
Did he not have BOTs?
No, he had BOTs, but it's more just about the fact that having the second haunt matters so much. when you can just instantly jump on the hero that you want. When you know that Ferrari has no buyback and he's got a rapier. Like, that would have been the key point and just taking the game. Like, they would have just killed the base.
So the one thing I do want to mention for all these upcoming team fights is that Rong needs to stay far enough away where he doesn't get hit by the Ravage, but close enough for him to force death. And it's so hard to play like that, especially without an 8-throw lens. And right now he's standing relatively close to Ferrari. And I think it's going to be IG looking to get the Megas. Oh, Sylar running forward here. He comes up here. They have the Aegis to shoot. Nice cloud. Sylar might actually just have to pop that Aegis or cheese, whatever the case he's carrying. Oh, no, defensive force staffs are good. And he's got the heart regen, so he's the one with the Aegis.
Yeah. Now, this is IG's fight because they have double buybacks as well this time, whereas vg do not have buybacks on either of their cores.
Well, they got the Aegis and cheese. That's quote-unquote their buyback. And they'll back off here. The waves are starting to pressure in on the bottom as well. And, you know, keep in mind that vg did lose big racks for a long time now. So the huts are, you know, pretty much gone. There's very little wave defense. But you do have haunt, so CTY is going to move bottom. Is there a BOT play where you catch CTY by surprise to the bottom lane?
I mean, you can definitely try. And not having buyback.
Ooh, you see that play? Bubbaka? He's moving in position. There are BOT2s.
I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised there aren't sentries at the ramps. Usually that's pretty standard play against Riki, or any invis for that matter.
We are going to sneak around here.
Yeah, they're going for something crazy here.
Yeah, vg, again, the buybacks are available on the IG side. They see XSS. A Haunt's going to come through here. Ravage. Where is the Dusa? Dusa is going to get caught in the back line here. Is he going to be focused? Buyback needs to come out. The Stone Gaze will be used right now. 430 trying his best. He is so slow! Oh no, I'm not sure if he's actually going to catch anybody. Maybe he's going to focus on Rax. Well, with the split shot, it's going to kill Rax. In fact, he's targeting the Rax burning. He's dropping pretty low. He's going to get Mega Creep off of this.
Oh boy.
Whether that's enough, I'm not too sure. 430?
The base?
The base? Is it going to be under siege? Well, it's down to about half HP.
Popped God Strength and went in and tried to kill it.
Okay, he didn't kill it. Looks like Sven's going to be dead for 90 as well. They see Wrong. Ravage number 2, 3. I don't even know which one this is. They find 430. He's dead. They see Bubbaka. Bubbaka's trying to run away. Do they have detection? Cloud's going to come out here, and Bubbaka's going to die as well. But everybody on the side of IG, or the majority of the heroes, does have buyback.
Only Witch Doctor does not have buyback.
Okay.
But the problem is they're Mega.
Yeah, they're Mega now. And I don't think the Radiant team could nearly deal with Mega as easily as the Dire.
CTY can sit in the base, and they can just haunt enter bottom. That's pretty much
But
what
here's the thing. Can they actually throw quickly enough in the span where CTY jumps in without them losing their throw? Because if they see CTY haunt in, they could just BOT bottom to just end.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I think Vici might just be tapping out here soon. This is like...
This is game 2, by the way. Like, if IG wins this one, and you think that they will win this one, this could be game 3. Divine Rapier being picked up here. What happened to Deuce at Divine?
They have to all in. He died, dude.
Yeah, who picked it up at Divine?
Like
this, like, TIE Hunter, or maybe AA has it?
No one picked it.
I don't even know.
Alright,
here he goes. 430, no buyback. Keep in mind, this is last life. He's kind of standing ROTK. Well, meanwhile, we do have a vac wall being dropped on the back line here, focusing on Sylar. Alright, we do have to focus on the tier 4s here. Glyph is available. They will pop it. I hear Aegis popping.
Okay, this is actually getting kind of scary with the Glyph being down.
Why is Riki not buying back? I guess he's going to hold it for 10 more seconds here.
Dude,
430.
He doesn't have it.
Okay, I thought you said everybody except the Witch Doctor. We do have the Stone Gaze coming out. That's going to force everybody back for a bit. And Dusa's out of mana.
Dude, are they actually going to win?
I mean, it's looking like it.
Ferrari
They're going to focus
has
on
no
Sylar.
mana.
Where's the Ravage? It's going to be a... Oh my god, the Ice Blast's going to hit everybody. No! Great disengage here.
Ferrari's going to die.
Yeah, he's going back to the fountain here, and he does not make it.
He doesn't have buyback dispense. They're going to win.
Look at the base, though. Look at the base on the other side. It's going to be enough. It's going to be focused. They do have the tier 4, but the tier 4 is dropping really fast. Burning coming back here.
Oh my god, they actually won.
Did they win? Who win? I don't know. It's going to be the base, Radiant base.
Vici win.
GG comes out here, and Vici somehow, some way, with that slow-ass siege,
oh my god,
takes game 2.
Oh man, IG. How did the Riki not have buyback? I swear he had buyback before. Did he just like buy something? Did he like upgrade his diffusal or something
Maybe
random?
it was the clock taking over a certain time limit and he lost buyback gold?
Yeah, but you would just get it back in a couple more seconds.
I don't know, dude.
Because I looked and I was like, yeah, they all have buyback except for Witch Doctor. And then Boboka didn't have buyback. That was so bizarre. All right, so I guess Vici, they managed to take it. I didn't really think that they would have the ability of pushing out Megas and defending against IG at the same time, but turns out that without the use of the Rapier, that Ferrari's Medusa just wasn't really that scary anymore. I mean, everyone on the side of, Vici had a ridiculous amount of farm. But damn, what a series.
So do we have another game to gas after this?
No, we're done.
Okay.
I mean, it's like 8:30 in the morning, so I hope we're done.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We are totally spent. He is Drasco. You can follow him at Drasco Dota 2. I'm at Luminous Inverse. I really love casting these long games, and I hope you guys enjoyed it at home as well. We are done for today, but the action of the Dota 2 qualifiers are still continuing. I don't exactly know what's happening because we've been trapped in this room for a while, but you can head over to Beyond the Summit on twitch.tv to find out what exactly is going on with the rest of the Europe as well as the American qualifiers. We are out. Good night, and hope you guys enjoy more Dota.